You get on my side. Yeah, I turn around and behind me one more time.
Do they have the presentation on Drive or Sergeant Armstrong?
No. Come here. Don't run. Right.
Can you knock your glasses off again?
You did.
Got it there. It's like the 1 year anniversary.
And we were like,
Oh, I remember.
it wasn't even on yet. It was fine. Yeah. She was like, yeah, we need to talk about it.
If you mind, like, you're supposed to launch after break. Like, the first day of class is like,
I look more what?
nope, we're putting it on pause and you're super scared.
I didn't feel like you were ready.
Yeah.
Yes, I should. You're right. So I'm thinking, because we only have documents, right? Are you sure? It's just Meyer and hey, if you haven't signed there's a thank you card up there. Hey,
So like the right before finals week. I did not.
No, the letter.
Yeah. Actually, okay, okay. That's what I was saying. I figured it should be a friendly.
So it's better? Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, what it is on this thing? I don't know.
In the lobby.
But
Hey, Paula, have you signed the card?
I sure did. I absolutely did.
Kobe, don't do it. Don't do it.
I didn't jinx it. It's already gone. Just driving. I worked for that.
I'm good. How you doing, son?
Making money.
It's not gonna snow.
I wish it was. I wish it was
And I know you're already on it. I don't need everybody. What? A resolution. It's gonna go to Ways and Means. So.
Where did you come from? I'm sitting right here, hell. I'm sitting here.
God, no. Okay, our composite came in and it's a little bit bigger than usual. So we'll have to get a new frame. We can't repurpose those because they're mini so we think we're not gonna do the purple on this one. And we're just gonna do the frame so it's not huge and then we'll but I'll show everybody as a surprise. I did a little editing, white some tea. I can't help but show her off.
I've been just.
The bear. Yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure you get everything. I have
I'm gonna show it
Hi, Michelle.
That's all I was just telling you. The pet center.
No, I'm gonna kiss you.
There's one too. So good over there?
I call the 8th meeting of the 100th session of the SGA to order at 5 p.m. Vice President Lockings, please call the roll.
Andrews,
Here.
Barber, Bassam, Beaver, Kale, Cheek, Kramer,
Here.
Crawford,
Here.
Cunningham, Dang, Yofodi,
Here.
DePersia,
Here.
Edingur Lucero, Farnham,
Here.
Garrison,
Here.
Hall,
Here.
Hernandez,
Here.
Hunt, Langston, Little, Levenstein,
Here.
Murray,
Here.
Al-Uwemisi,
Here.
Patel,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Portillo, Rouse,
Here.
Randall, Sander,
Here.
Sands,
Here.
Saxena,
Here.
Skate,
Here.
Spears,
Here.
Spites,
Here.
Teeter,
Here.
Van Ash, Van Brunt,
Here.
Milano,
Here.
Wesley,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Woodruff.
If there are no objections, we'll approve the minutes from the last 2 Senate meetings as distributed. Are there any students here to speak during open forum? If there are no objections, I'll send the rules for 10 minutes to allow them to speak.
Alright, I'm the second, and we represent African Students Association. So I think we submitted the request for funds and all this stuff, but then we didn't meet our the funds that we were looking for. So basically, I will talk about the African Student Association. So this year, always speak about how diverse the campus is and all that. And then I say that African students make up a huge number of people about international students. So for international students, we have about 500 international students, and then African students make up a huge number of that. And then most of the African students who come here are through referrals. So for example, one of the students in the executive board for African Student Association. So last semester we had a program that we invited Mr. Kokoyam, and he's from Ghana. And so because of that invitation, it's made one of the students choose UCA. So meaning any program that we hold has an impact and an effect upon the number of students and the kind of students that come to UCA. So so this next semester we are having this, what do you call it? It's a gala. And at gala, we normally invite people from different part of the countries and different part of the world. And then, yes.
Okay, so we're trying to have the gala for next semester, and we want to have it in the Caston Ballroom. And initially, we were asked to pay $375 by the Caston Ballroom, and the receipt is on the next slide. This was sent to us directly from them, but we were allocated $270 out of the instead of $375, and we don't have any other way to get funds except from the SAFA. So we're here trying to appeal that. So if we can get the complete $375, that would be great, because we didn't add any extra fees or anything like that. This was the price given to us by McCaslin Ballroom. So I'm trying to appeal that. And also, we were trying to bring a celebrity, I would say, that is known to the African community. And we initially asked for about 3,000, but we weren't given anything. And so we're trying to see if we can get something or get all that we asked for if possible. And to do that, we tried to get a tally or signatures from the people, from the African students on campus to see if they actually wanted this person or if we could just cancel it. And then the next slide is just like pictures of a lot of people that said they wanted, you can keep going. A lot of people that they said they wanted him to come here, and that's how we know that like they actually do want him here. So we're trying to appeal that so we can get some money to bring him here, and maybe make that possible.
Yeah, so as we just say, like eventually students make introducts and then they refer a lot of students. Like many students who come to UCA sometimes from Ghana, they'll message me, so how's Conway, how's UCA? And then all this program makes international students, they feel comfortable and they feel happy. And we are thinking about a diverse society, and I think we should make international students happy too.
Your 5 minutes for presenting is up. Are there any questions? Senator Eddie Lucero.
Sorry, I'm going to try and break this down. So for the gala, the room rental for McCaslin, is it possible to go back to that slide, Vice President Watkins? Thank you so much. Okay, so for that, it's $375 for the room rental, and you were allocated how much by staff?
250 or 270, I don't really recall.
Perfect, thank you, Senator Craigmore. Okay, so that room rental, is it based on how long you will be in the McCaslin Ballroom? Is it possible that if you reach out to McCaslin, I don't know what the time frame for your event is, but if it was like a 6 to 9 event, could you cut it an hour down and do like a 6 to 8, and that might alleviate the cost?
The cost doesn't depend on the time that you book it for. It just depends on like it's just the fee, like the standard rate for booking the room. So it doesn't matter if you have it for the entire day or you have it for 5 minutes. You have to pay the fee.
Okay. And then my other thing on the gala is anyone paying to attend the gala?
Yes, that's why McCaslin is charging, because if you're not charging, then they won't charge.
Right. So are you not getting enough, I guess, back from people paying a fee to attend this gala to make up the difference of $125 to pay the rest of the room rental?
Okay, so people will pay to come if there's someone they're coming for, but we didn't get the money for the person we're trying to bring. So it's like if there's that's what they're paying for. So if there's no one there, they wouldn't pay to get in. So then we wouldn't get any money at all, actually.
Okay, so does your gala, so then that goes into my next question, does your gala hinge on this speaker, this particular speaker, or do you have an alternative should nothing happen with your appeal and you not get that funding, or you get partial funding? Do you have an alternative speaker, someone that would be within the budgetary parameters?
We didn't have any alternative. So our main alternative was to have this person because this is one information that they wanted. So this is what they want. We have several people that we are trying to invite, and this is what they said they wanted.
And this is basically one of the cheapest ones because of how it's hard for anyone back home to even come here. So this is someone that's already in the country, so we don't have to pay for like, visa and all that stuff. So this is like one of the cheapest that we found. And yeah, it is the cheapest, so that's why we're trying to bring him if possible. And yes, the gala is around him, but if he's not coming, then we might not even have it.
And then if I may, will Vice President Kale yield to questions? Considering the scope and all of the budgetary requests that SAFA had this cycle, was the precedent applied equally for events of a similar request, of a similar price request? There weren't, I guess, any inconsistencies from your standpoint as the Vice President of Finance?
No, and also for clarification, they technically weren't allocated nothing. CalConnect's kind of weird and we're getting used to it, but if you had multiple like speakers and performers within the speaker and performers line item,
We just went in and zeroed out all of them except for one. So you can use the 1,125 allocated for anything. You can pay for the video and photographer, or you can use it, you can use that at your discretion. So that could all be going to the speaker, or you can just spread it out amongst the 3 things that you're requested for speakers or bringing someone in.
Is that a max amount or
Yes.
is there any way you could adjust it?
That is up to the Senate.
All my questions. Thank you.
Senator Kramer.
Yes, I have 2 questions. And the first one is, do you have an estimate about how many people you think would be attending this gala if you had the speaker?
Probably like maybe 100 or 150, because people from other schools are also gonna come. And he's gonna bring his own people. So this is like an open invitation for like all Africans first that can make it. So it's not like a specific amount.
Okay. And then my second question is, I don't mean at all to diminish your frustration, but you stated that SAFA was the only way that you could get this money to fund your speaker. Have you thought at all about fundraising, or is that an option?
We have done a lot of fundraising events, but the feedback or the amount we've gotten back isn't enough to host or to complete most of the things.
And also, we have a little programs, so sometimes the fundraising activities, the money that we get, we use the whole program for the students. Like we had a golden events last Saturday, we needed to pay for that, we had a food cart and all this stuff, so, yeah, so we get fundraising, but we use that for it.
Senator Randall.
How much would you be charging guests for a gala?
I think it was 5 or 10.
Yeah, the maximum would be 10.
Would that cover, are you going to have food there, or would it just be a gala where it would just be the speaker?
We are planning to have food there, and that's what the money for the tickets is gonna cover, because we know that South Africa fund food and clothes and all this like banners and extra stuff. So the money from the tickets we're planning to use it to get food, the picture banner on the wall, the photo booth, all that extra stuff. That's what we're planning to use that for.
Do you believe students would change their minds about going if you increase the price to maybe $20 for a ticket?
I think so, because, it's quite expensive, so, yeah, 10 would be a max.
If there are no objections, let's suspend the rules for 5 more minutes to allow for questions. Senator Hernandez.
Yeah, so do you guys know how many people have came to your gala in the past?
An estimate amount?
Yeah, just a rough.
The time when we invited someone else, it was about like 100 something. But the last one, there was no main attraction, I would say.
Okay.
So it was probably like 50 to 60.
Okay, and is it open to all students?
Mm-hmm.
And they just have to purchase a ticket?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then I see on here, it's like an email correspondent. So it says $3,000. This will include hosting fee and logistics, flight and accommodation. So SAFA can't cover flight and accommodation. So do you guys have the numbers of how much it will cost for us, like just the speaker?
I don't have that, but I could get that if
Great.
needed.
That'd be helpful for all of us. Thank you.
Are there any more questions?
Okay, if I were if I were to get that, do I email that to?
You can email that to Jen.
Okay, perfect.
Are there any more students here to speak on behalf of the open forum? So we have the presenters. Dr. McBrayer is actually coming in 2 weeks now instead. Then we have Dr. Philip Bailey, who's the Associate Vice President for International Engagement and Education, Ashley Pettingill, the Director of International Engagement, and Ashley Fleming, the Director for the Abroad here to speak. If there are no objections, I'll suspend the rules for 10 minutes to allow them to speak about the abroad fee. Yes,
I want to stand in front of you guys. Where do you want us to be?
wherever you'd like.
Over here's good. I'll stand in front of Dr. Tarka. Good. All right. So I'm really pleased to be here with my colleagues, Ashley Pettingill, the Director of International Engagement, and Natalie Fleming, the Director of Study Abroad. We're here because of Natalie's success. In the 4 years she's been working in the office. You can see on our handout on the front page, we've seen enrollment in student mobility programs go up by 200%. All right? So that means that,
Do you all have the handout?
It's being passed
Oh,
around.
okay, gotcha. Might just pause.
it's going around. So the success of the office led to a little reorganization in the other side of campus, the Office of International Engagement, where Ashley and I spend most of our day. And we allocated a position from that office to the Office of Study Abroad. So if you go over to the library, you'll see Emily Polk, the new Education Abroad Advisor. That was a little bit of a sacrifice for the Office of International Engagement, but for a good cause, because the students who go abroad need the support. If you've ever been out of the country, it might make you a little bit nervous, okay? Probably a little bit more nervous than I am talking to you all today, but still, it does make you a little bit nervous. And we need all the support in place so that students travel with confidence, with security, and getting the right experience. So we started with the staffing because that was the key first step. Now we're looking at ways at a time when enrollment is dropping in UC and other institutions. So money is tight. We're looking for ways to keep the momentum, all right, sustain it, and move forward, providing support. So the fee that we currently have, $40, has been in place since just after I arrived. In 1995, which would soon be 25 years ago, they established a $40 fee. Those of you who like to keep track of inflation dollars, in today's dollars, that's about $70, okay? We're asking to split that fee into two parts. One would be a $75 short-term immersion program, faculty-led fee for summer programs mostly, but for spring or for other short periods. The other one would be for exchange students or direct enroll students, outgoing, okay? They would pay $200, all right? And I wanted to ask Director Fleming to talk a little bit about the impact of the increased traffic in her office.
Well, in context of the fee, because you go from paying $40 for a short-term fee, $40 for a long-term program, to $75 for a short-term, $200 for a long-term, and you may ask why the difference. And so we have, as you can see, the number of exchange and direct enrolls exploding. So these are students going in larger numbers per semester abroad. 43 is going to be the count for this academic year, 1920. So they're going all over the world, and they're spending anywhere from 3 to 6 months studying abroad at a partner university. We're bringing back 12 to 15 hours. And so the workload on that is an average of 3 semesters, possibly 4. Because students come in and apply the semester before, but they may be being advised about it a year in advance. But for sure, the semester before they're applying, they're nominated to the partner school. We're corresponding with the partner school. We're helping with the visa process. We're helping, or if they have to get a permit, we're helping with that process. We're doing things on campus with different offices like financial aid, registrar, and that's happening while the student's gone and when they return. I can go in more detail if needed, but it's this number of 43 for 1920. It's not just the study abroad office. It's affecting other offices on campus and their workload. But in the study abroad office in particular, we are the main contact for the student while they're abroad. So, for example, right now we have students all over, and they're reaching out to us to get help, like when it's registration. We'll send them an email to remind them, hey, it's registration at UCA. I know you're in Mexico and you're having the time of your life, but we want to remind you that you're coming back here next semester and you need to register. Here are the deadlines coming up. And then they'll maybe have a hold because they're not here to meet with their advisor. So we'll kind of be that in-between to help get a hold of the advisor, especially if they're on a different time zone. We have students in Asia and Europe, and that's different from our timing. So we need to respond, if we get an email at 2 a.m., we need to respond first thing in the morning and be able to help the student get the message out on campus. And so, in particular on that $200 fee, that represents, like I said, an average of 3 semesters of work with the student, the before, the during, and the after, to get that credit back, to make sure everything is working on their transition back to UCA.
I brought Director Pettingill here to help us understand the fee in relation to the Office of National Engagement, how we're going to be paying for what we're asking for, because you can see in the proposal that we're asking for the money. What would we do with it? Well, there would be 2 things. One would be an admin, so this would be an assistant to do some of the office work that currently my director and education advisor are doing. Free them up to do some requisitions, all the paperwork for kids going and come back abroad. Free up the director and the advisor to work more directly just with students, right? And then, as you see in the chart, about 5 years out, if we get to the target that President Davis is supporting, doubling the number of students from about 200 now to 400, okay? In about 5 years, could happen sooner, but if it happens in 5 years, there'd be enough money for the administrative assistant and a software program that we use for managing the applications for study abroad and also for security management, because kids are going all over the world. Some places not quite as safe as Conway, but still safe. Okay. So those are that's the 2 purposes for the fee.
So yes, with our first priority being a full-time staff member in the office, we estimate that would be around $28,000. And if you look at the table found in number 3, you can see that even the last row here, we're at $39,000 there, 3 years out. So initially, in the first year of a proposed fee, we would not actually be collecting enough to pay for the full-time position. We in our office, again, we can reallocate resources. We feel like this is a priority that you all would realize right away as you come into the office and need assistance. And then the secondary item would be the software. From a risk management point of view, it's very necessary. Other universities in the state use it. And as we have students traveling all over the world every day of the year, it's important for us to get notifications on how they're doing and just for the process to be more efficient overall for faculty and students. So we wanted to bring the point up to you all that the request for the fee is actually based on our other universities in the state and their fee structure. So if you turn the page to table 4, you can see other universities in the state and what they are charging for study abroad fees. I would just like to point out that UCA and U of A have the strongest study abroad program in the state. We have students from U of A wanting to come to UCA because of our exchange partnerships and things like that. So we are trying to position ourselves to be comparable to those universities with between UA Little Rock at $100 and University of Arkansas Fayetteville at $105. The $210 semester exchange is more comparable to U of A at ours being $200. But we also, I hope you guys know this, we have a reduced tuition rate for students studying abroad. So if you study abroad for a semester or short term, you have basically the online tuition rate. There are reduced fees for you. And so we were able, and I think through the work of SGA, able to get this approved last year. And so, Natalie, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's about a $600 savings for students for a semester.
For a semester abroad, they're paying a reduced tuition. It's called study abroad tuition. If you look on Student Account's website, the tuition calculator, you can calculate it, and it'll show you that it's less than on campus if you're not paying all the fees. And that's the same for summer, but in summer they're taking, the students are taking 3 to 6 hours, so they're still saving, but it's less than semester, because like I said, semester is 12 to 15.
So for this fall, that number is for 15 credit hours. It's on your first side of your handout, it's $694 reduction in fees paid by study abroad exchange students.
That was 10 minutes, so if there are no objections, let's move for 5 minutes to allow for questions and anything else you have to say. If you want anything else.
Let me leave that time for questions.
Senator Lucero.
I'm just curious, and I don't know who would be the appropriate person to ask. So other than coming to SGA, have you reached out to other students, particularly students that have gone through study abroad programs or that have shown interest in study abroad, and talked to them about an increase in the fee? Is that something, I mean, I'm sure you're all familiar with what President Davis says, that $10 might as well be $10,000 to some of our students, especially for students that want that experience of studying abroad. So I'm just curious if you've talked to students that have been through your programs or interested in your programs, and if that has kind of put up any red flags that's maybe deterred students from considering study abroad because of a potential change in the fee.
I would say one thing I'll be working with, hopefully Rose and others in SGA, is the survey some students, not just study abroad participants from the past, but prospective students as well. And I will gently disagree with the proposition that 10, 20, or 40, or even $100 or $500 is the difference between study abroad and non-study abroad. It's a lot more complex than that. I had a grant from the federal government for years, worked with a colleague in business. We had $3,000 to give to students. And this was back in the 90s and early 2000s. And we couldn't give the money away because we couldn't find kids who wanted to go to Europe or Mexico with $3,000 in their pocket. So for me, it's important to have people in the office who can tell the student where their imagination is a little bit off, where you help them deal with the fear. Because the getting out of Arkansas, it's really not about the money. And if we don't have the fee, we can't give the kids the support they need, the counseling, the out-of-country support, the programming, to take away all the obstacles that are currently making us uninformed study and the ability for participation in Arkansas.
Are there any more questions? Senator Farnham.
Thank you. I believe you were touching on the subject just before we allowed more time, but because there won't be $28,000 with the total collected in the proposed fees until the 24-25 fiscal year, what would the funds be used for until that point that you're getting excess? Or would you go ahead and create the position and then just reallocate funds from elsewhere?
We would create a position and reallocate from our division.
Okay, so that would be starting immediately, like in the next year at least?
If it were approved.
Goes to, okay.
The proposal is to implement this for fall 2020. You can see currently, if we're using current enrollment numbers, it's about $23,000, something like that. And it's a $28,000 position, including benefits. So we would find the $5,000 to $6,000 to get that position in place.
Senator Little.
So with this increase in the study abroad program fee going from 40 to 75, with the predictions that you added on number 3 on your sheet here, do you think that there will be a substantial either surplus or deficit to your program? Considering that these are costs that are about 5 to 6 years in advance, do you think there will be, with this change, that we would approve a substantial high amount of surplus or deficit in your general funds?
In the general fund,
Sorry, I may have said that wrong, but like I said, going back to your, for example, the 24, 25 estimates, do you believe that, because of course these are estimates and we never know how many students that come to this program, do you think that the money that we allocate for this increase in the fee would actually cost that much, or do you think that there's a chance that you will have a surplus in funds for the SAFA account or a deficit?
I think what we'll have is, if we maintain the current number of student participants, we'll not have enough money to fund the position. I have to supplement through other means, which the president and the provost have to approve, all right? And if we keep on the, it's hard to know with 5-year horizon what the pace of growth is, right? It's certainly not 300% every 4 years. I just don't think, I expect us to level off a little bit. But could we be at 400 in 3 years? I suppose we could. But I think 5-year horizon, okay? But we don't have to get too far up to be able to pay for that admin position. To be able to add that software, yeah, we need to get to the target. But I think it's what I'll have to show the provost to get her to approve this. We have spoken, she's given me permission to start this process. Is we're not setting ourselves up to hire somebody, then have student ability plummet, and then of course, then where do you find the money to fund that person, right? That would be unfortunate.
Are there any more questions? Okay, if there are no objections, suspend the rules for 5 more minutes, so I can the questions. Okay, Senator Williams.
I'm not sure who would be the right one to ask, but you mentioned the software. Is this going to be like a yearly cost, or is it something that you just buy once and then you have it forever?
It's a yearly cost. It's an annual thing, and then there's an implementation period as well.
Okay.
So, and it's actually a product that we're using in international engagement now with international admissions, and so we're hoping there'll be some cost savings if we were to choose that company.
Okay, and then also, so y'all are wanting this extra position to help with paperwork and all of that, right?
It could be, Natalie can
I'm just
address
kind of
that.
confused what the
Right,
position
okay, right.
exactly is.
So I can talk about that. A lot of behind the scenes, whether it's something as simple as organizing a health and safety meeting with faculty who are leading students and getting them first aid kits and other supplies they need, or asking a nurse to come and speak to the health and safety meeting we offer in the spring for the summer programs, something like that. Or day in and day out, phone calls from faculty, parents, prospective students, ordering items that we need, helping with paying all the vendors we use to help the faculty-led programs. For example, we had 13 faculty-led programs last year between spring and summer, and there were about, a lot of vendors, let's say at least 30. And so just doing the paperwork and the contracts and the billing is a job in and of itself. But also I would hope that they could help students, not necessarily advise, but definitely help students coming in and give them the basic information if needed. We still would want to have peer advisors, of course, but the peer advisors not always do the function that we need.
Senator Hernandez.
Yeah, so how does the Office of Study Abroad currently recruit students, and how are you guys ensuring growth in the actual, I don't know.
Okay. I would say, when I started 5 years ago, the recruiting felt like we were in a small little office in the library and we were reaching out, and it was just a huge obstacle, to be honest. And as the years have gone by, it's been so exciting because I know admissions and ambassadors are talking about study abroad. I know the president and provost are talking about it. I know students that study abroad, most have an absolutely amazing life-changing experience, and they talk about it, which is the best word of mouth. That's the best recruitment. But I've noticed a change in the high school students coming up already knowing about study abroad and asking about it when they're on their tour. And that's been surprising to me, and that's been great. And that's been because they have an exchange in their class, or they've just heard about it somehow. And that's a change I've noticed that's very positive. The university, I know, is doing more to promote. I don't know if they're up yet, but I've heard there's going to be two billboards about study abroad, one on 40 and one on the river bridge on Little Rock. So that's exciting. But I don't know if that helps answer your question.
Thank you. So how many people use like the U of A services, and then also Arkansas Tech or Arkansas State?
Do you mean like how many are studying abroad at
Yes.
Tech? I mean, U of A, the latest numbers I heard were this summer was 1,500 a year.
Okay.
I have no idea on Tech.
I think it's instructive if you were to Google study abroad at Arkansas Tech, where you see, I called there a couple weeks ago, and they have a part-time study abroad coordinator. She's a part-time teacher of German. They are proposing a $50 fee. They have no study abroad office. They have one person half-time. They have like 5 destinations on their website where you can go. You can't go there and go over, or you go to Arkansas Tech, and you can go to Germany, you can go to Spain, you can't go very far. So they're proposing $50 fee because they know that students want to go abroad. But the research they have to help that just aren't there. So I think the nice thing about UCA is we are well positioned with a 2-person office and a very strong supportive administration to really live up to that motto of going here, going anywhere. And we've got partnerships where we still haven't even sent the first kid. Others we started last year, we're already sending 7 to the Czech Republic. But if anyone wants to go to Kazakhstan, study in English, come see me, I'll tell you how to get there.
So another question I had was, so we have for this year 236. So why are we trying to increase all the way to like U of A prices if we have such low enrollment compared to them?
I understand. So I want to talk about it in reference to exchange. Because when you're studying abroad with a partner school, you're paying the UC tuition and you're able to use your academic scholarship. If you have like an Arkansas challenge, like a state scholarship, if you have a Pell Grant, there's many many sources of aid you can use. And like we said, it's already less. The rate of tuition, you might save somewhere around $600, which we know you're going to spend on a plane ticket, but the point is it's less. So this is something I know not other schools are offering. We're not using a third party and saying pay $20,000 for a semester and go wherever. It's a direct relationship, and so it's cutting out the middleman, so to speak, and it's making it more affordable. So I would say that $200 is worth it, because if you go with another university, and you can look it up online, you're going to pay the third party to place you and to do all these things we're doing, and it's going to cost a lot more. So that's where I think the value comes in with that $200.
The 5 minutes is up. If there are no objections, to 5 more minutes. So after this, you can send your questions, email them to them, and then you can say afterwards. So, Sarah, you, Sarah.
So my question kind of goes off of the question that Senator Hernandez was asking. So the trends that we're seeing is that enrollment for higher education across the board is going to go down because there's not enough 18-year-olds that will be graduating to put us at the levels we're currently at. So I guess my question is I know these are estimates that we would like to ideally see our study abroad program double to 400 students by the year 2024, 2025. If they stay at the current number, around 200, 250 students with the increase to the fees, that would put, by your projections, that would put, if it was at 236, that would put with the increase about $23,000. Well, you said that it would cost about $28,000 for an additional staff person, maybe less, maybe more. Do you have other plans in place that if the fee is raised and you don't see growth in study abroad, is there any plan or conversation about reallocating funds? Since you still have to operate at your current level, but the purpose of the proposal for the fee was to hire an additional staff person. If you don't meet that quota to get to the money to fund that position, my question is, at 5 years down the road, would it have been a waste for us to increase the fee and not see growth in our program?
Well, I have a statement, I'm not sure
Okay.
of the question. We have a need for a full-time position now. We had a need for a full-time position 3 years ago. So we made the decision to allocate money from our budget to do full-time extra help, which that was great, except for that person left us after a year and found a full-time position. So then we had to start over again. And so we were granted a full-time position after we reallocated funds from our own budget. So we've needed this for 3 years. So regardless, if the numbers stay consistent, there's still a need. But I would also say it's like any other division where you're recruiting, you have to work harder to find those students. And so that's what we'll have to do. I mean, our programs will have to continue to grow to do that, so I'm not sure if that helps. but-
Thank you.
And then the last question is Senator Saxena.
All right, so I wanted to ask, $40 to $200 definitely seems a lot, pretty overwhelming. I'm applying for study abroad, and definitely I would not want to pay $200. And not all students do the same credit hours. On average, how much does a student do in the summer? How many credits?
3 to 6 hours.
So have you all considered doing this as a credit hour charge, charging them per credit hour rather than doing a flat fee of 200 or 75? That would be easier on the students and not overwhelming them.
I think it's something that we could consider.
The fact of the matter is, we would allocate the per credit hour fee to meet what we're hoping to get, to meet the need. So I'm not sure if that's a distinction that makes a real big difference. Because if you're gonna use 1995 budgeting schema to get where you want to get, you may not get there. So if we need to maintain and go back to what we had $40 in 1995, all right, we were sending a lot fewer students, all right? And the growth that we're having, I really do believe, I've been here a long time. And I've been in study abroad all my life. French professor for 25 years, head of the language department. If this university makes resources available, there is no reason that Arkansans won't travel at the same rate as kids in Iowa. If you look at the back sheet, the aspirant institution, University of Northern Iowa, I got my eye on them. I didn't list all the fees they charge, but they're ones that almost win prizes for study abroad. They have 4% of their student body going abroad, okay? Right now when I started in my job 3 years ago, it was 1%. We're getting up to almost 2%, 1.8%. Okay? We can do this. And I'm very happy that we branded ourselves Go Here, Go Anywhere. I think that's a beautiful mission. And if you talk to, has anyone studied abroad? I see a lot of kids right now in the room who are studying abroad, right? I hope that program's going well, right? It changes your life, okay? And if you can't sell life-changing experiences at a university, you're in trouble. I'm confident that the job now is done is not a mirage. It's reality. So, other than my bravado and my confidence, I don't know. It could go downhill, right? A war somewhere could cause trouble. That would diminish things. But even if we're flat, I can tell my provost, we can maintain that salary. Okay? If we go down 50%, then I'll tell her, hey, you don't want to undercut our momentum. Temporary drop, we'll be back up there. Good questions, guys. I'm really impressed with how you're running up in the business.
The 5 minutes is up. Do you have one more thing you want to have?
If I could,
1 more minute. No objections.
if I could, I just would, I think there may be a tradition in the SGA leadership to make a resolution and consider making a statement of support that President Davis and Provost Poulter could use with the Board of Trustees. We got great friends on the Board of Trustees. You may know that Buddy Hancock has given $1 million for scholarship money to my former department. I couldn't be happier than to work for those leaders. And if you were to support what we're trying to do with the resolution of support as ever you would word it, I would be very appreciative.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Rose.
Yes, you're okay, moving to executive reports. I want to shout out Senator Randall and Senator Hall. for attending Safe Walk last week. So thank you both for doing that. And it was very cold, so thank you for weathering the cold for that. And then if you're on SAFA committee, please stand up. I want to shout out SAFA committee because they put so much work over the last 2 weeks into the hearings and deliberations. So just thank you for your hard work on that. Also, Dr. Bolter, the provost, loved the card that we all gave her. So thank you for writing the notes for her for that. It really touched her. So thank you for that. The next SGA Presidential Town Hall is November 20th. So that's next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. and it's in the same room, so Student Center, room 214. And we're co-sponsoring with the Campus Conservation Corps, so it's like sustainability, environmental themes. And then individual projects. So you guys are all on committees that have specific tasks, but you can also work on outside projects. So you guys ever have anything you want to work on, come talk to exec, come to a cabinet meeting, you can work on whatever you like, just come talk to us. And then this Saturday, Ms. Shar and I are going hiking at Pinnacle. And if you guys want to come with us, let us know. Just text me before Tuesday, the end of the day on Tuesday, so I can figure out carpooling. But it's this Saturday morning, and we're leaving at 8:30 a.m. So let me know. Any questions? Vice President Peter.
All right, so as you all know, December 2nd is our holiday reception at the President's house. I have here a sign-up list. If you're bringing someone, just put your name on it, and then put you're bringing one person. Can't bring two people, just one. So pass this around. All right. Next, printer. So everyone's. I hope you've seen the Google survey that's going around. So we rename our printer. Carl will be gone soon. He's a heavy paperweight in the corner. So I've named the new printer. Please submit those names on there. And then not only that, we have the new business. There'll be a memorandum of understanding for the new printer. Graduating seniors. You are a senior. You are graduating. Please get with me soon so we can get you your SGA cord for this semester. So. All right. Non-returning senators. If you are a senator and you decide that you are not coming back next semester, or you're studying abroad next semester, or you're graduating, obviously, please let me know. It's okay. You know, I'm not going to be mad at you. Even if you decide SGA is not for me, I'm done with it. You know, just please let us know so we can get refill your position for this next semester. All right. Ideal Pages. I want to say thank you to our Ideal Pages, Hunter and Jackson. So I'll give them a round of applause. We appreciate y'all being here. Next, Voluntary and Support, Senator Hall.
Okay, hey y'all. So, as it's getting colder, I just want to let you guys know that it is your right and your privilege to stand up to questioning the privilege by saying, turn on the heat or turn on the air if it does get too touchy in here. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. And Sergeant at Arms Support, Senator Spears.
So good evening, Senators. So as you guys have known, and I really don't think it would be a huge issue for the rest of the semester and for the following semester, you can pass notes, and it is much more preferable to pass notes in Senate rather than to speak to another senator to your left or right as trying to speak over a fellow senator or presenter. It's just very, very rude. So be sure to try not to pass too many notes, but if you absolutely have to, it is preferable to pass a note rather than just trying to lean over and speak to somebody else. It's just a better way to communicate. Again, I don't think it's ever been an issue up until now, so we'll knock on wood that it won't anymore. So that'll be all.
Great.
Are there any questions for Vice President Teeter? Senator Olivares.
Yes. About the for graduate seniors, you said when the seniors request for that correct?
Yes. So are you graduating this semester?
Next semester.
Next semester?
Yes.
All right. Well, next semester you get with me and I'll get you your cord. But it's this is for like people graduating like December. Yes.
Are there any more questions? Vice President Lockett.
Okay. So right now, Public Relations Committee is working on pushing out the Presidential Town Hall and the Food for Fines program. Food for Fines is starting November 18th. And also, if you're seeing the post on the SGA story, please share it. screenshot. I can send anyone the flyers, so like you can all be posting on your stories. We're also working on the Centennial History Campaign, and I'll get into that when I get into the thank you section. We're working on our newsletters, so once again, the newsletter is just so that we can hand out to students on campus, give to the president of all the things we've done this semester. So committee chairs, you'll be seeing a text message from me. I asked you in cabinet to start compiling your work and what you've done this semester and prospective ideas for next semester. So please do not be shocked when I would like for those reports to be coming in this week. Yoga. So we are moving. Yoga's still this Thursday, right? But you know, me having to type minutes forgot that I have to be at cabinet at 4:30 on Thursday. So we're moving yoga to a 7 o'clock class. And actually this yoga is beginner yoga because it's a general category and it's all about learning positions and breathing exercises. So I put a little thing in here. It's called Hatha Yoga. It's like an Indian style, so I'm really excited. So it's Thursday at 7 and it's in the large studio room in the Hyper, and I expect a lot of you to be there. All right, so I'm gonna skip over popsicle stories and give people time to think about it. Our composite has come in, and I did a little editing, little teeth whitening. Yay. Don't it look so good? Okay. Yeah, so we'll be getting a frame for her soon. Okay. Senator of the Month is always at the bottom of my agenda points. Make sure you're reading the minutes and submitting nominations for Senator of the Month. You're all doing great work, so we would like to recognize that, people. Thank you. So thank you to Senator Perry for attending a university committee for me. Thank you to Senator Monica Cunningham for going to the Strategic Planning Committee and doing such a great job. We love good representation and asking good questions, so thank you for that. And also thank you to Senator Karina Wesley, who has started on the Centennial History Campaign and had to send me 10 flyers last night because I kept telling her to fix something. So thank you for being patient with me. I'm kind of picky, sorry. So now we can go into our popsicle stories. So Senator Hannah Crawford has one, Advisor LaTanya Matheny has one, and then the last one is a surprise. So Crawford, you can go.
Okay, so my question is, what is the best TV show you binged, and to explain the show? So mine is probably Euphoria, and it came out this summer on HBO, and I stole one of my friends' passwords, so I got to watch it. But it's starring Zendaya, who is my wife, and basically she's this teenager who is going through an opioid addiction, and she had an overdose, and so she got out of rehab, and she's trying to rebuild all the relationships with her family and friends. And there's a lot of struggles with the people that she's surrounding herself with. So there's a lot of happy parts and bad parts, but it's just really inspiring to see it because we don't really know what happens for teenagers struggling with their addictions. So it's kind of like an eye-opener.
What was your major in college and why did you choose it? So I was a sociology major, sociology major, criminology emphasis, and I was a poli-sci minor. I wish I had a warm and bubbly story as to how I stumbled upon that, but I don't. In the spirit of transparency, I kind of bombed the second semester of my freshman year and the first semester of my sophomore year, so my GPA dropped a ton. In addition to that, I picked a bunch of classes going into the second semester of my sophomore year, and my advisor quit. So when I came back after Christmas break, I didn't have any classes. So sociology literally was kind of the only thing that I could kind of stumble into and still get my parents off my back and graduate in 4 years. So I mean, it ended up working out. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. But yeah, I'll never be the advocate of, you'll figure it out eventually. I did. I don't some kind of way. So hey, seniors, 4 years struggling, I'm with you.
Okay, So our third one, we had our exec edition, and I didn't get to do one. So I gave myself a question. But I let Cagney think of it, our office worker. So my question was, what is one fashion trend that is cringiest to you? And I just love this because now I can get on my soapbox about how awful Crocs are. I'm sorry, but if you are not a nurse or like a doctor, you should not be walking around in Crocs on campus. Like, I get if your feet are hurting, like that's what we have, Chacos, Birkenstocks, flip-flops if you're, I'm not a big fan of flip-flops, but flip-flops if you're really struggling, but please do not wear Crocs around Jamal. Especially if they're camo, oh my God. I almost had a heart attack. Okay, that's all for me.
Is there any questions? Vice President Keel.
I'm gonna just say this: if you walk into my OR wearing Crocs, I'm kicking you right back out. No, well, it's just in theory. So my first point is SAFA part, and then a bunch of numbers. Thanks, Jamal, for keeping that in. I was gonna have SAFA committee stand, but Rose stole my thunder. So if you see a SAFA committee member, give them a high five or maybe a hug or something, because they deserve it. This committee was amazing, and I love like how we turned out, and it was a great time. So thanks, everybody. Just a reminder about appeals. We don't discuss appeals until new business, so if you are really wanting to make a motion to approve or deny or whatever, that's in new business. So that's all I got.
Are there any questions? We'll move into standing committee reports. Academic Affairs, Senator Chief.
Alright, hey guys. I just want to give a shout out to my committee. They've been working really hard, and they all have so many different projects they're working on, so I'm really proud of them. But a lot of them is Senator Eddie Lucero is working on a resolution for doing each year's retiring this year, and Senator Bolano will be working with Dean Hargis and the presidents of the CLB, College of Business, RSOs to form a committee and kind of talk about possible changes and ideas for the upcoming year, and there's also a discussion about an advisory committee as well. So that's great. Senator Cunningham is meeting with Jim Neighbors next week, talking about discussing the possibility of having art in common areas. And so we're hoping that can take place next semester. So I'm really hopeful about that. The Teachers Tutoring Teachers poll is out now, and it goes down Thursday. So if you have friends in the College of Education, please remind them to take up the poll in person, because we really want a lot of feedback so we have data for that program. And also, the academic food fight is still in the building, so please donate food, encourage your friends to, for a great cause, and we have flyers out, so if you see them, please share them. Please touch your friends. Thanks.
Are there any questions for Senator Chief? Fair Advocacy Group, Senator Sanders.
Alright, so my committee has been working really hard over the past few weeks. So we have the Deputy Chief of Staff for the Governor, Bill Gossage. I'm not sure on that last name, but that's how it's spelled. He's coming November 20th at 4, so that's right before the presidential town hall, so you can just drop by. And he's really, really excited to talk to students, like really super excited. He was a teacher for like many, many years, and now he's like, he says stuck in an office, that's what he said. But he's really excited, so please come talk to him, ask him questions. He's really just looking forward to teach everybody about the behind the scenes stuff. So we have that. I had a meeting with Jeremy Dillon this week. We are looking for Day at the Capitol. Again, it's still just going to be UCA. It's going to be the end of February-ish. Still looking at dates. But if there's anything within Day at the Capitol, if you plan on going, once we get a date finalized, if there's anything that you specifically want to do at the Capitol, because it's just UCA this year, we have the flexibility to kind of craft that day of what we're interested in. So that's exciting. Red Flag campaign it's next week. Sorry, my weeks are all running together.
So Monday we're tabling. Tuesday we have a speaker in room 225 to kind of talk about red flags and relationships within students here. So that speaker, yeah, she's gonna be in room 225 during X period, and then we have our actual event of like, if you saw it last year, we write kind of a red flag of experience, and then you stick it in the lawn, and it's kind of a statement to show that you're not in this alone. So come see us Thursday. And then I also had a meeting, Rose and I had a meeting with, this is kind of exciting, but we have been chosen as kind of a pilot university to be a part of the Arkansas Collegiate Network for Students Ending Substance Abuse. So Save Our Students is now all the time, and I know you're really excited about it. So within that committee, we've just kind of looked at, we're going to get 2 student representatives, 2 faculty representatives, and it's just kind of a committee to see what we can do better on college campuses. There's 12 universities chosen across the state, and we're all going to work together to see what we can do. And within that, we're going to have Save Our Students. So it's coming. Are there any questions? Diversity Committee, Senator Hall.
Okay, so first I just wanted to introduce some of the committee members of the VIS committee here, and that's Diversity Committee. And so would y'all please stand? Yay! This is Chanel, Mary, Martin, and Jay, and they have been working so hard. This isn't the whole committee, but some of the people had classes and different things. But they just wanted to come in and show their faces, and I wanted y'all to show them appreciation because they have been doing a great job. So for the rest of the school year, we're working on, I'm sorry, it's not that good. Okay, anyways, so for the rest of the school year, so November 22nd, we're going to be hosting 2 events, which is lung cancer awareness, because November is the month, and also Native American history, which is this month as well. And those will both be happening November 22nd. And then November 19th, during X period, we have a meeting with Ms. Stephanie McBrayer to talk about the things that Brian Buford discussed with us at dinner that night. And then for the rest of the semester, we're just planning out the following semester and trying to get these big events that we're hosting next semester all the way planned out. And that's all we have. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Housing and Food Services, Senator Saxena.
So we met Andy Eisen, Trevor Seifert, and Mr. Wiedner last week, all 3 of them, different meetings, to discuss the Rent College Pads contract. And all in all, we got the same response from all of them, which basically said that administration still does not buy the idea of having a website for the university that we're not paying for, basically endorse us. So we'll be doing a student survey first to get what students want for the housing. And other than that, we'll also be talking to Mr. Williams to see how he feels about the idea, because he has expressed some concerns as well. So we'll be talking to him after the survey. And we're planning to hold the gender neutral housing second meeting sometime at the end of November, preferably before Thanksgiving break. So stay tuned for more updates on that. And the first international recipe at the CAF will be on the 21st. It is from the Ivory Coast, and it'll be fried plantains. The students will be presenting their dish, and Mr. Jim members will be recording and be there at the CAF. And Senator Patel has been working on the coffee machine, and I will do my report for him.
Hi, so I'm Vivid. I just rolled by the office of Mr. Newton this past Friday, and at 11 o'clock, I talked to her about potentially putting a vending machine at the library, or by the area over there, so it can help students, or it can serve students who don't after the hours of Starbucks close at 12. So it can serve students after 12 until it reopens. But they mentioned that, or Ms. Newton mentioned that there's already been a talk about putting it's called a Serenity machine, and it's like a machine where it's like you pay for it, but it's like automatic. So nobody needs to be there. Besides, people just fill up every other day or so. And for that, they talked about it's been talked for 2 years, and they're planning on replacing Java City with that machine and the COB. I talked to her about, this meeting was just for the machine in the library. And for that, I would meet with Jim Neighbors for that. She's just meeting with Jim Neighbors, getting to talk with that and see how that goes. But that's just a brief update I have about that.
Are there any questions? Senator Hernandez?
Senator Sexton, could you go over that first thing again about the paying for a website, or I didn't understand.
Okay, sorry, I just fumbled there. But Red College Facts is a website that helps you find off-campus housing. And we've been trying to integrate this website with the university so that we endorse it and so that students can find housing. So we do not have to pay for the website. We already have the servers to set up the website, and so there shouldn't be any initial costs. So the concerns that we've got from administration is that usually we pay a company to set up something, so we have some form of control on what they're doing. For example, Zaxter, we paid them to get the bike, so we kind of have some control. But this would allow them to use the university's name to market out, and the website would have advertisements that the university could not be aware of. So we're trying to work through that, do some more research and talk to the administration again, and get students' approval first, and that's why we're doing the survey. That's all.
Are there any more questions? Internal Affairs, Senator Spears.
Hello again, guys. Good night. Internal Affairs, if you'll notice, as throughout the semester has progressed, we have done 7 kind of incremental, small regulatory bills with the Constitution. And as you guys, if you remember with my last reports, you'll have seen that in addition to those little notifications of previous notices, that I have also given kind of statements about how Internal Affairs is looking about how the Constitution is organized, the readability of the Constitution, what the Constitution looks like from a non-senator's point of view, and how easy it is to navigate the way SGA is practiced today from that document. And so what we've done, kind of a lot of what Internal Affairs has done behind the scenes, and it has been a collaborative and wonderful effort, and I can't say I would put this penny against anybody in the world, any group in the world, is that we have kind of revised the entire document of the Constitution in the way that it's organized. So this is basically Senate Bill 008, and what this bill essentially does is this is not a new Constitution. It's the same Constitution that's been organized for clarity, consistency, and ease of reading for senators outside, and that better reflects the way SGA is practiced today. So, with that being said, it is a large document. You'll see that it is not a document, I need to get tongue-tied saying it, but you'll see it's a document that can't be fit into the typical previous notice template. The previous notice template is basically SB 008, and there is an attached document that entails the entire Constitution. The reason why we're doing a document this big is, of course, for size reasons. You can't reorganize half the Constitution and have the other half just sitting off, in the distance. So we went ahead, and this has been a pretty much 2-month-long progress. Is what we've done is seeing, how we can take from legislatures in the state and the federal Constitution and see how we can implement the structural changes needed from those constitutions and those documents to our founding documents, so it is more clear for students and so it can be practiced for SGA for hopefully another 100 years to come. And that will be, as our previous notice, in new business, and it will also be followed up by another bill next week that will be enclosed as Student Bill 009 that basically transfers a little portion of the Constitution that we couldn't reorganize in the Constitution to our bylaws, so that everything is continuous, clear, and nothing is left out. Everything has a specific place. Again, I know this is quite a lot of information, so we are giving 2 weeks for this specific SB 008, and will be presented and voted on November 25th. I just wanted to make sure that was absolutely clear to you guys, to give you guys the absolute maximum amount of time to read through it. It is a large document, I won't kid, but it's a document that we know and we think will be extremely beneficial for the rest of SGA's duration for the rest of the year and for future SGAs to come. So that will be all, and be out the lookout for that in new business, and feel free to contact me either by phone or email for any questions you have, any concerns you may have about the bill, what may be in it. I know 80 eyes are a whole lot better than 12 eyes, which is a whole lot better than my 2 eyes. So, with all of us in agreement and trying to really make sure this is the best document, have the most collaborative effort for Senate, I think that should be the end of my report today. So keep up to look for that in this week's minutes.
Are there any questions for Senator Spears? Student Fee Advisory Committee, Senator Patel.
Alright, so last hearing is tomorrow. They'll be having beer signs and his lab fee. All the hearings have been going great. We're also gonna have the report ready by the 25th, so be ready for that.
Any questions for Senator Patel? All right, we move into ad hoc committee reports. Centennial Committee, Senator Wesley.
Okay, so great news, guys. February 21st and 22nd. That is big, okay? That is when everything is happening. February 21st and 22nd. Write it down. It's gonna be great. Senator Joyce Bode is going to be emailing the president's office, well, specifically, Angela Conrad, yes, that's her name, and to be reserving President Davis himself and his house. I saw him today and, yes.
Clarification, Angela Conrad is the shirt person for
Oh.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought
different.
that was your name.
No, she's like, who does the SGA swag.
Oh, sorry, I guess I wrote down the wrong name.
Alicia Crow.
Alicia Crow, okay. Angela Conrad, Alicia Crow, it's alliteration. You know, they kind of sound the same, they rhyme. You know what I mean. But, yeah, so her second name that we were given. We would be contacting her, and I actually saw President Davis today, and he said that there isn't really a lot going on in February, so that would be perfect. So big excitement about that. Everybody on the Centennial Committee has tasks to do, so we gave for delegation, and updates will be coming. And also pay attention to the Instagram page because the history campaign is really important. It's not just about the Centennial celebration, it's about the entire legacy that SGA has created and is continuing to uphold. So support that.
Are there any questions for Senator Wesley? Park and Safety, Senator Van Grun.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, Senators Beaver Tabor and Langston are working on a survey to send out to the sorority girls that currently live in the Greek Village, and they'll send out to the potential fraternities that will be moving into their houses next year. Talking about loading zones within the Greek Village and putting in place if they want them, if it's necessary. We have to push back from faculty saying it's not necessary, but we obviously disagree on that. I'm meeting with Chief Murgy tomorrow to discuss potential projects for next semester. A few of them are cookies with the cops, education on concealed carries around Arkansas, and pepper spray that's allowed on campus, and maybe some self-defense classes, maybe upping those. I know the police department already does that. Maybe doing it once a month or so, just to increase the numbers there. And then we have food for fines starting the 18th. I always forget that day. There will be a office set up, or a table set up here at the SGA office to take down all the information and take donations, and then we'll be tabling the student center on Friday from 10 to 3.
Are there any questions for Senator Van Grun? Great, Student Resources, Senator DePardo.
Hello, we are working on drafting some resolutions, specifically Senator Spites and Senator Murray are working on drafting some resolutions to congratulate our sports teams on some conference wins that have been happening. I took a super quick gander, and what I saw is that the men's soccer team was doing really well in conference, as well as the women's cross country. But if you're a sports person and you know of other groups that we have at UCA that won conference title or something like that, or a tournament, let me know. That is all.
Are there any questions for Senator DePardo? Sustainability, Senator Hernandez.
I'm yielding my report to Senator Joyce.
So first, that's the tip of the week. So every time you are trying to recycle styrofoam, please make sure it's clean and please have it packed in a clear bag, and only then it's gonna go and get recycled. Next thing, the sustainability committee is partnering with the Food Recovery Network, and we are going to volunteer for Weigh the Waste that starts from tomorrow onwards. And then we have got signs from the city and keep the Arkansas beautiful. So these are pretty little signs, and we have other signs as well, which are going to talk more about recycling and what things need to go into recycling and what not. Then we have another big thing is that we have requested the neighbors to replace the plastic straws with paper straws. So finally that's happening. They are going to replace the, like, not replace, but they're going to have paper straws as well as the plastic straws. But apart from that, the styrofoam cups that were used in the caf are going to be replaced with paper cups. And apart from that, the catering services that they used to use styrofoam is going to be replaced by plates again. That's sugar cane based, I think. That's made from the bagages that's found. And they are going to have the cutlery as well. So that's going to be spoon, knife, and fork. So basically, everything is going to be compostable. So I have the signage as well as, if you all want to have a look about how things are. So this is something that the cup is going to look like. And then we have a couple of others, like this is going to be the lid, so the cup is going to have the lid. The straw is not available in the image, but yeah, this is going to be the spoon, the fork, the knife, basically everything. So yeah, this is something that the sustainability was working and finally we got there. Apart from that, we are going to have a table at the student center that's going to be from this Friday from 11 to 2. And this is also the, I think, National Recycling Day. So we have set a table out there and create awareness. And if all these things come in, by that time we will have these laid on the table as well, so that we can create awareness and say that, hey, these are things out there. So pick the paper straws instead of the plastic ones. So forth. And we are going to have meeting with the housing and residence life regarding the green hall initiative and the green bag dispensers. So we are going to work on having the halls more recyclable and eco-friendly. And then sustainability committee is again going to meet at the presidential town hall, where we are going to have our members and we are going to answer questions from the students if they have any questions, and again create awareness and let them know what resources are available to them.
Are there any questions for Senator Joy Ford? So we have the university committee reports. Are there any university committee reports? Senator Perry.
So like Jamal said, I sat on the UCA MLK prayer breakfast committee, and the prayer breakfast will be January 17th, 2020 at 9 a.m. There are no RSVPs, only external invites, but they did encourage exec to all come. They will have a speaker, and the theme, the speaker is Tamika Silverman Edwards, and the theme this year is the Dream Vision Beyond 2020. And those of you who do not know what this event is, it's just basically like reflecting on MLK's legacy and see how far we've come as a whole and everything. And have different guests and different people from all over, just not Conway, but instead of Arkansas, all come have a brunch and discuss things. So yeah, that's basically it.
Is there any more university committee reports? Senator Cunningham.
So the strategic planning committee met on Friday, and basically the takeaway was making sure that we're articulating clear language in the strategic work for the university. And the key words were for it to be suitable, measurable, over time, feasible, flexible, and motivating.
Are there any more university committee reports? All right. Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business?
In accordance with SGA Constitution.
Point of order. Raise your hand first.
Oh, yes.
Senator Spears.
Thank you. Thank you for that. In accordance with the UCA or SGA Constitution, bylaws, and special rules of order, notice is hereby given for Senate Bill 008, the Leveraging Engagement, Guidance, and Advantageous Clarity for Years to Come Act, otherwise known as the Legacy Act. One procedural note with this is that, and these are changes made in this document are not underlined for clarity reasons and the highest amount of clarity. They are highlighted as the additions. If something is not highlighted in this document, it is taken directly from the prior Constitution form. Underlining would be a little less clear in the documented form, since the bill is approximately 13 pages long.
Senator or Vice President.
I move that the UCA SGA allocate $253 for the holiday dinner on December 15th. Funds taken from the reserve account.
Discussion on the motion, Vice President Seer.
All right, so we're having a holiday dinner for all the folks that are staying here during Christmas break on December 15th. So, we're pitching in with, I think it's us and is it President's Office, Provost's Office, the faculty and staff that might have something to do with it as well. We do this every year. It's great, especially for our international students that stay here during the Christmas break. So,
Is there any further discussion on the motion? Senator Eddie Lucero.
I'm gonna rise in support. So last year was the first year that we did this. It came out of when President McGarity served as Executive Vice President of SGA. She decided that similarly to how the presidents of SGA, Faculty Senate, Staff Senate, and President Davis all have what we call a meeting of the 4 presidents, she thought it would be a good idea to have a meeting of the vice presidents, which just included from those 3 respective bodies. And this was the idea that kind of they championed as vice presidents of their respective bodies. It was extremely successful. It was very heartwarming to see so many students kind of have that avenue to participate in an event if they were remaining on campus during the winter break. So I think it's good that SGA is continuing that tradition with the faculty and staff senate and the office of president.
Is there any further discussion on the motion? It's been moved and seconded that the UCASGA allocates $253 for the holiday dinner on December 15th, funds taken from the reserve account. Roll call vote, Vice President Watkins.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barber.
Yes.
Bassam.
Yes.
Beaver.
Yes.
Kale.
Yes.
Cheek.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes.
Leopoldi.
Yes.
Persia.
Yes.
Edinburgh Lucero.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Garrison.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Hunt.
Yes.
Langston.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
I vote yes. Levenstein.
Yes.
Murray.
Yes.
Al-Uemisi.
Yes.
Patel.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Portillo.
Yes.
Rouse.
Yes.
Randall.
Yes.
Sander.
Yes.
Sands. Saxena.
Yes.
Scape. Spears.
Yes.
Spites.
Yes.
Teeter.
Yes.
Van Ash. Van Brunt.
Yes.
Valano.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Woodruff.
Yes.
With 40 yeses, 0 nos, and 0 abstentions, the motion passes. Is there any more new business? Vice President Seer.
I move the UCASGA adopt a memorandum of understanding to approve the new office printer.
Discussion on the motion, Vice President Seer.
All right, so if you all pay your attention to this, please, you should all have. All right. Basically, I'm just going to go ahead and read it real quick so we can start on that. Per the attached quote from the Standard Business Systems, UCA Student Government Association agrees to rent the reference copier for a period of 16 months. Is what I gave you a couple of weeks ago, the printer. Okay. The first month will be prorated based on when the machine is delivered to the SGA office. Sheet by eStudio, 501 by AC, includes featuring as outlined under standard configuration. $4 a month for a 300 sheet dual scan document feeder. $8.50 a month for a 4 stapling finisher, holds 2,000 staples or sheets. And then $5 a month for a hole puncher, totaling out to $379.52 a month. And so, yeah, basically this new printer's been working out great so far. We're still working out kind of the kinks. It's higher tech than Carlos, and so it's just gonna take some getting used to. But I think once we work out the kinks, it's really gonna be way better than what we used to have. So, I yield.
Is there any further discussion on the motion? It's been moved and seconded.
Motion approved by unanimous consent.
Second.
Motion passes. Is there any more new business? Senator Eddie Lucero.
I move that the UCASGA deny the SAFA bill presented by the African Student Association. Second.
Point of order, you don't have to deny an appeal, you just won't motion to appeal the price. So if nobody motions to change the appeal, then it just falls flat anyway.
That's fine, I still have the motion to deny. There's nothing that says you can't make a motion to deny for transparency purposes.
Discussion on the motion, Senator Redding, you want to sit around?
Again, for transparency's sake, I think the motion to deny just kind of, it solidifies what our decision is as a body. For me, I believe denying the appeal, just because if you look through their budget request, they didn't explicitly state, and they couldn't even answer tonight, what that $3,000 would fund. And SAFA, the Constitution explicitly states that SAFA can't fund travel and accommodations. In addition, they mentioned not having other sources of funding, which is understandable. That is why organizations appeal to SGA. But I think not being able to fully answer our questions and clarify the purpose of the appeal is my reason for denial.
Senator Hernandez.
I rise in strong opposition to this motion just because I feel like we still have information that is still needed. I do not believe that their case was fully presented, and I feel like we still need to get more information. I just don't believe that we should be passing this resolution because I find it insulting and rude. I don't think it's the wisest, most prudent decision that we could take. So yeah, I rise in strong opposition.
Vice President Lockings.
I'm also going to rise in opposition. The way our appeal process is set up is that if you wish to appeal a decision by SAFA, you make a motion to allocate more funds, and the need of us not needing to do that and motion to deny deletes the negative connotation that will put with SGA. As far as transparency purposes, it was explained by Vice President Kell and can be talked to by any student that asks the question. If that appeal is not granted or motioned by Senate, then that means it has been initially denied. So I think this motion is unnecessary, and I also think that it's something that we don't need to do because that's not what we want to be saying to our RSOs. When a motion is presented and a motion fails, we do not clap because it's a negative motion. Therefore, why would we do this motion, which is just negative in a general context in the first place? So I rise in opposition and hope that you won't vote yes.
Point of information. Vice President Kell, you have a question. During your report, didn't you state that they could do this motion?
That was a misspeak.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I would, because here's the thing, it's a sticky situation because then we could just present a motion to reconsider the motion, and it's just a parley for a nightmare. That's my piece of it.
I just want to make sure, but you said that it was okay for them to do this, right?
Ideally, the ideal situation would be to deny this appeal, would just to let it dissolve, and that means we just wouldn't make a motion. Unless someone wanted to motion to approve it. The only motion that should be considered really should be a motion to approve. Just because like this opens the door of like such a mess of a parley situation, because we could always just like table it, move to reconsider, all that good stuff. But they were notified that like a decision would be made tonight. So.
That's all. Thank you.
Senator Van Brunt.
Well, Vice President Kell, you answered the question. If this falls flat tonight or we approve this motion to deny, can they appeal again?
No.
That's okay.
Senator Hall.
Oh, I wrote
That was
some
just, okay, never
information.
mind.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Senator Williams.
Okay, so Vice President Kell, will you answer the question? So, are we going to be able to, if they bring more info to us, reconsider this at all?
They should have brought this information to their hearing.
Okay, so initially they should have done this.
Ideally, it's very, to be quite frank, during SAFA budget training that we like have for all RSOs, we tell them to be as specific as possible, and we also asked this question during hearings. Like they gave us as much as they could, but we need itemized things, just in case for like, I don't know, like discrepancies like this where we're just given an overall fee and not like a specific like travel is this much or housing or whatever. So they, ideally, they were supposed to, and I'm also like checking my email, because they were notified that it would be decided tonight. And they haven't emailed me anything, so I've been like on the lookout and checking junk and everything, so.
Vice President Watkins.
I just want to say that whether or not how they conducted themselves in hearings or what information they brought, the whole point of the appeal process is that you can appeal for up to 2 weeks. Therefore, once again, if we do not motion to appeal and allocate them more money, then they have been, it's made clear that it dissolves and the money they're allocated is not appealed. This motion to deny is unnecessary because if we do not appeal it, then the motion is denied. I don't understand why we would want to put this on record. This isn't something we've ever done in my 2 years being here on Senate. So once again, I'm rising in opposition.
Is there any further discussion on the motion? The moved and seconded that the UCSGA deny the SAFA appeal presented by the African Student Association. Roll call vote, Vice President Watkins.
Andrews?
No.
Barber? Bassam?
Abstain.
Beaver?
No.
Kale?
No.
Cheek?
No.
Kramer?
No.
Crawford?
No.
Cunningham? Dang? Diofodi?
No.
DePersia?
No.
Eddinger Lucero?
Yes.
Farnham?
Abstain.
Garrison?
No.
Hall?
No.
Hernandez?
No.
Hunt?
No.
Langston? Little?
No.
I vote no. Levenstein?
No.
Murray?
No.
Oyuemisi?
No.
Patel?
No.
Perry?
No.
Portillo?
No.
Rouse?
No.
Randall?
No.
Sander?
No.
Sands?
No.
Saxena?
No.
Spears?
No.
Spites?
No.
Teeter?
No.
Van Brunt?
No.
Volano?
No.
Wesley?
No.
Williams?
No.
Woodruff?
No.
With 1 yes, 37 no's, and 2 abstentions, the motion fails. Is there any more new business? Are there any announcements? Okay. Senator Hall.
Okay, so tomorrow at 10 o'clock, there is a diversity meeting, the university committee, and I have class during that time, so if you can make it and want to go there for me, please let me know. At 10, I'll be there by virtue of my position, so if nobody can go, I can take notes for you or report or whatever. Thank you.
Senator Wesley.
So some of you might know, but some of you might not, and some of you might not care, but I am competing in the Miss UCA competition on Friday. It is at 7 p.m. in Reynolds. Student tickets are $5. All other tickets are $10. They are only accepting, what? Oh, sorry. They are only accepting cash or checks, so don't bring your debit card because you won't get to go, which would be really sad. But it starts at 7 on Friday. Please come and support me and all of the other 14 contestants who are going to be in it. It'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be a good time.
Senator DePersia.
Okay, I just wanted to say, a year ago today, well, like technically tomorrow, it was the 12th, but it was a Monday. Senator Kayla and I presented the feminine hygiene product words to all of the Senate, and we got approved to like allocate $3,600 toward it. And we had like an entirely different plan, but it's been a year since it was brought to Senate, and I just wanted to announce that because now it's in all the bathrooms and it's crazy and time flies, and yes.
Senator Sander.
Okay, I forgot to say this during my report, but there's a card out there for student veterans that I'm going to take to the veterans office, so please sign it. It just says thank you. So sign it, write a cute little note.
Senator Little.
All right, for any senators, students, or any non-students watching, for those of them that don't know, the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity is holding a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate fundraiser tournament this upcoming Wednesday from 5 to 9 p.m. The sign-up to play in the tournament is $5. It is $5 to sign up for the tournament, and the sign-up is tonight by midnight. And if you have questions about how to get there, you can come talk to me after Senate. There's also a QR code on our flyer that you can use to sign up. It takes you straight to a Google form. And if you pay the $5 before the event, you will not have to worry about the $7 the fee to play in the tournament. If you want to just come hang out with some cool guys, eat some good food, watch some people play some video games, and play other games that are going on at the same time, it is $3 to come in. And of course, all these funds will be going to the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity, but I encourage you all to come if you are interested or want to compete.
Dr. Tarka.
Yeah, just some of you haven't been on in student government or on UCA's campus a long time, but I wanted to follow up on what Senator Wesley announced. Before the current Miss UCA, the 3 previous Miss UCAs were all senators on student government at the time they became Miss UCA. That's Megan McAfee. Before her, it was Kelly Collins, and before her, it was Ashton Pirtle. So you're in good company, and we all wish you well.
Vice President Watkins.
Okay, we got a lot of papers today, and I know all of y'all are not going to be taking this budget sheet home and the memorandum and just looking at it. So make sure you're recycling the papers because all of these attachments are going to be in the minute. So make sure you are recycling. Thank you.
Senator Hernandez.
Yeah, so we do have our event, Weigh the Waste. So please, if you guys want to help out, I know we're partnering with Food Recovery Network, yet these times are, I believe, from like 11 to like 2 or 3 o'clock. And they're 30-minute slots. If you guys want to help, it's pretty easy. You just like literally scrape food into a bucket and weigh it. So yeah, if you guys want to help out, interested, please let me know.
Vice President Keel.
All right, 2 quick things. One, I have a university committee that conflicts with the meeting with President Davis that exec's having. So if you're available November 19th during X period for a really quick, really fun undergraduate council meeting, please let me know. And then staff will meet after Senate, and also I forgot to mention this, but here's everybody's budgets and what they're allocated and averages and precedents and all that. And also there is a binder with everybody's budgets on the office worker desk. And after we ratify this next week, that binder will be in my office. You can just grab it whenever you need to.
Senator Sands.
Hi everyone. So next week Monday at 6 o'clock, I know it's like during Senate, but if you're free after Senate, the Office of International Engagement and Office of Diversity and Community is having Bridging the Gap. So basically it's where like the minority are, so it's on campus, just display what they do and who they are, and give food. So I know the Caribbean Student Association, we're gonna have like something from back home. I'm not sure if the Ivorian Association, they're gonna have food as well. So after Senate, you wanna take some different food and bridge the gap.
Senator Lucero.
Like Senator Sheik mentioned in her report, Dr. Ishii, the Dean of the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences, he's not retiring per se, but he is stepping down as Dean of the college. So if you have a major or a minor in the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences, so that includes the departments of Health Sciences, Psychology and Counseling, Military Science and Leadership, Occupational Therapy, Physical Therapy, Nursing, Communication Sciences and Disorders, Exercise and Sports Science, and Family and Consumer Sciences, and you would like to co-sponsor my resolution of appreciation, let me know, and I'll share it with you.
Senator Kramer.
Hi. So for those of you who didn't know, Gordon Ramsay was in town this weekend, and just a fact for a minute, I got to meet him on Saturday, and it was so cool. And to be honest, TV show when it comes out in January, but everyone should hit up the Bears Den and see how it's been renovated. So, yeah.
Are there any more decorum? Are there any more announcements? Senator Spears.
Internal Affairs, same place, same time, second floor lounge. And also, please, I need all of your eyeballs to look at your emails in the next 2 weeks for the minutes that Jamal works so tirelessly and wonderfully on, and all the attachments. And in that attachment, there will be SB 008. I need all of you to read through that. Please. That'll be all.
Any more announcements? All right, this meeting is adjourned.